Hello Outcasts and other viewers, welcome to another video where I talk about what might be in the next Star Wars Battlefront game. Today I'm going to talk about features that might be in the next Star Wars, but before I get into it, be sure to like this video if you do enjoy it and subscribe so you can hear more news to do with the next Star Wars Battlefront and videos on our current Battlefront game we're all playing and enjoying. But anyway, let's get right into it. So first of all, I just want to say that the next Battlefront we've already been told by people from EA that the next Battlefront is going to be like bigger and better basically. So that means there's probably going to be a lot more like little details in there as well. So one of the things that I want to talk about in this, well one of the couple of things that are in here are customization. So we already can customize what weapons we want to use and what characters we want to play as, like race and things like that, and we can also adjust our hands as well. That's another thing we can adjust. But what I'm on about when I say customizing characters, like you can customize the armor in more detail, the weapons, and a lot of other things, like obviously the race as well. But what I mean by this is when I say customizing armor, like you can maybe change pieces that you have on there and the colors that they might be. So if you're a clan, for example, you could have like a certain color that represents your clan, and then you can use that to sort of like, in a way, just to sort of show you're a bit more of a team, you're a squad in a match. And I feel like that's something that they might do. And weapons, you can probably add attachments, I'm imagining. I hope you could probably add, like for example, like the bow rifle in the current game, you might be able to add like a little bit of a bow rifle staff style attachment to your gun, your blaster in the next one. Maybe add a sight to a certain gun, that sort of thing that they have in games like Battlefield and things like that. I think they want to, I imagine they would do something like that. I would want them to do something like that, because then it gives you a lot more variety, rather than when you get killed by someone in the current Battlefront it just says this is the gun they used, you know. And it might just, you know, in the next one when you get killed by someone it might be saying this is the gun they used, and this is, you know, it just shows the attachments that they might have had to that gun. I think that would be a very cool feature, because then it really allows you to customize what you want to use and like how you want to go about killing people basically. And I feel like that would really like allow you to create your own character and your own story almost. I mean, that sounds a little bit cheesy, but you know what I mean, where you can basically create your own group and you can have your own little backstory sort of, and you know, you can have your own personality in your character almost. And another thing which Hurricane talked about, he thinks that there might be customizing heroes as well. Now at the moment in the current Battlefront, what you can do is you go to a hero pickup on the ground and then you just pick the hero you want to play as, and each hero has their own unique abilities. But what would be very cool in the next Battlefront is if they had like, so you can, in the main menu where you can customize your normal character now, they'd also have like a section where you can customize what abilities you'd want Luke to have and what abilities you'd want, you know, Vader to have, or the Emperor, whatever heroes they have in that game. Well, I imagine by this point it's probably going to be based on the new trilogy, because after recent talks with the comments section in the last video, it seems like it's going to be on the new trilogy, so I'm going to lean towards that. So let's say for example you can customize Finn's abilities or Rey's abilities, you know, something like that. You could probably customize them. I imagine that is something that they would like to have, as it's going to be bigger and better and more detailed. I really hope that is something that they would include, where you can just, on the menu, you adjust the abilities you want to have. So when someone picks Luke, it's not like, you know, oh that's their abilities. You know he's going to have force push, he's going to do his little lightsaber twirls, and he can slash, basically he can leap very far. There's a bit more variation, so you don't quite know what Luke's going to do when he gets on the battlefield. That's something I think would be very nice to have, because then at least, you know, if someone, for example, you know, in the current game picks Lando, you're just going to assume they're going to do the glitch. You know, Lando might have some different abilities, you know, it's something like that. You don't quite know what they're going to try and do, you know, what strategy they're going to play, and it adds a lot more of a strategy in the game. So there's different ways you can complete missions and objectives based on what abilities you have as a hero. I think that would be a very cool feature to put into the next game. Now this is how I feel like it might start ending up being another reason why it might end up being like Battlefield. I think they may go back to classes. I hope they do. I'm sure there are some people that wish they could, and I know there are definitely people that wish they don't. People really do like the new feature, and it does give you a lot of freedom to go with whatever you want, but it kind of ruins what was in the original Battlefronts. Now in the previous Battlefronts there were just different types of troops you could play as, and I feel like if they do that, in this next one. Like for example, if you look at Battlefield, you've got Assault, Support, Medic and Recon, or Scout I think it's called, and basically you've got those 4 classes, and then you've got vehicle classes as well, where they'll have like the vehicle driver will have his own kit. The reason why I hope they do put classes into this is, aside from the driver one, is it makes you sort of go by certain strategies when you play a character, so it allows a lot more of a certain play style when you go into missions, and you can do different strategies based on what class you pick, and it can also help you work quite well with taking out vehicles, just like in the current Battlefield games. If you pick a certain class, you'll be very good at taking out vehicles, and if your other classes you won't, but you'll be very good at taking out other infantry, those sort of things. If they put this in the next Battlefront, it'll add so much more strategy. That's the reason why I think they should add classes, and why they might actually do it. And I really hope they do, because then at least it stops people from just, you know, for example, getting on a speeder bike, going from one end of the map and just jumping off of it. Like, you know, people that pick a vehicle will be able to use that vehicle, and they won't want to get out of it, because if they get out of the vehicle, they're going to have like a really weird kit that they're not going to be very effective with in just normal gunfights. They're going to want to stay in that vehicle so they can be effective, like in Battlefield. Obviously there's still going to be people getting out of them and running around doing whatever, but it will encourage people to use vehicles more more effective ways. You know, I think that would be a lot better. If you look, for example, in the current Battlefront, you've got people that might jump into an ATST, and then, you know, they'll go around for a little bit, and then they might get bored and they'll just jump out, and they've got their normal kit, their normal hand. If they had it so, for example, that system was in the current Battlefront, they'd get out and they might just have a pistol, you know? They might not have much else, or they might have a way to repair their vehicle, like a wrench or something, you know what I mean? Something that can repair the vehicle, and maybe they can just shoot with a pistol in case they get under fire, but they wouldn't be very effective in combat. And it'd be cool if you could pick up other players' kits as well, like you can in Battlefield. That would be a cool feature. I don't think they'll do it, but they might do that, you never know. That's something that's just popped into my head. But it'd be very nice if they had vehicle driver kits as well, because again, it would keep people in the vehicles and playing very strategically in the vehicles, because they wouldn't be effective in any other way. They'd have to kill themselves, which people wouldn't want to do, I imagine. I mean, people might still do it, but you never know. But those are a few of the features that I think might be in the next Battlefront game. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments, what other features you might think will be in the next Battlefront, and if you've got any other opinions on that, if you think there will be some features that I've said that won't be in the next Battlefront, I'd love to hear your thoughts as well. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like it and subscribe to see more videos like this and more on the current Battlefront. I would really appreciate it, and we'll see you very soon.
There's a distance between us. It's getting hard to reach out. Haven't seen you in seasons, but all